This episode of Breaking the Fourth Wall podcast or Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly is brought to you by the Comic Collections. Come check out the Comic Collections at 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, Pennsylvania, or give them a call at 215-357-3332 for all your collectibles and comic book and music needs. Contact the Comic Collections, 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, Pennsylvania. That's 215-357-3332.
Hey everybody, it's CJ Graham. That's right, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, Part 6, and you're listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall.
Started recording already.
Yes,
have
actually, I have.
Do a Google search for your birth date and the word Florida news, and you'll come up some crazy shit, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're recording. I'll take that challenge before it'll be a pre-news buffet show here. Let's see here, 1977. Don't judge.
Old fart.
No shit.
Spell Florida for me, thank you. Now, what was it? Florida News Report?
Yeah, just do Florida news and your birth date.
All right, let's see. Ooh, wait a minute. I think I got
This,
one right
this sounds like one of those tricks on Facebook or something where she's just trying to get your information, Stolle. Don't fall for it.
She's fishing. She's
She's
fishing.
going to ask for your mother's maiden name and all that shit next.
Well, that's easy enough. My mother's maiden name is my actual last name.
I already know his mom, so.
So your family tree doesn't fork, is what?
No, it's more like a circle.
Spoon.
You say her this family tree spoons?
Yes.
Either.
The sad-
Resistance is
Fucking
futile.
awesome. Oh shit! I had not heard that before. That's fucking funny.
We were the little spoon.
What are you drinking there, Don? I want a shot.
Oh shit!
January 19th.
Vodka and cranberry.
January 19th, 1977, the day it snowed in Miami. That was the top
That's not
story.
a cocaine bust?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I was
sure.
gonna say that.
If I read it, it probably will turn out to be cocaine. Somebody sneezed.
Almost has to be. That's the height of the disco revolution there.
Achoo!
Yep.
It's snowing!
Barbara Streisand sneezed after snorting coke.
Oh, good Lord. Could you imagine that? A blow-off between Barbara Streisand and the bitch who played Blossom?
Oh Jesus!
There's a kilo.
Add Dustin Hoffman in there with him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. What about Dustin Hoffman? Or Owen Wilson? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Wapner at 7. Yeah, I farted, yeah. Yes, that's Owen Wilson doing fucking Rain Man. Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
Good job.
Wow.
Are we
Wait a
doing
minute.
a show?
Wait a minute. Owen Wilson was famous for doing Lightning McQueen, which means he doesn't sneeze like achoo. He sneezes like ka-chow. That one's for the kiddies. That's the cleanest joke you're going to get tonight. Guys, welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly. I hope you enjoyed that little spat beforehand because that's pretty much the show. We're done. Have a good night. No, joining me as always is the lovely and vivacious Serenity.
Hey, Happy New Year.
The man with a tan on his hat band, Mr. Christopher Rudder.
What's happening now?
And quite honestly, if you see him dancing on a beach, probably might want to check to see if he still has a pulse. Mr. Weekend at Bernie's himself, Don Smith.
What's happening? It's good to be back. It's good to be. It's just good to be. Fuck it. That's all.
Well, fuck.
It's good to be. Yes.
Well, fuck it. It's 4:30 somewhere, which means it's time for the news buffet.
That is right, it is. And I didn't pull anything up ahead of time, and something I just clicked on my computer screwed everything up. So that's that's the issue I've been having with technology all damn day. But we're going to go ahead and get the news buffet rolling somewhere in here, because I'm doing this with one screen. I'm not used to this shit anymore. My computer's on the fritz. I'm doing this on my laptop, and I don't like it.
Well, I've got some breaking news right now. It was just reported on the Facebook Messenger that Colin Washburn is coming. I hope he watches.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Probably more exciting for him than the rest of us.
I hope he washes his hands before he joins us.
All right.
Did he
All
borrow
right,
the
7
lotion from
people.
you, then?
It puts the lotion
Or at
on
least
its skin.
I'm taking the news buffet over again. I found my news, not my muse, but 7 people apprehended after entering Vermont illegally from Quebec by driving across the lawn of a library built in both the United States and Canada were immediately returned to Canada, the U.S. Border Patrol said Thursday. Surveillance videos released by the Border Patrol shows a car drive by the Haskell Free Library and Opera House on July 4th, nearly hitting a car as it turned onto a street in the Vermont community. Agents apprehended the vehicle a short time later as it was headed south on Interstate 91. The occupants were from Canada, France, and Romania. We're all paying attention to the wrong fucking border. These crazies are...
I don't know. It's that they caught him and sent him back. It sounds like the southern border needs to
basically,
take lessons.
from the sound of it, they sent him to the other side of the library. We share a fucking library with Quebec. That must be like the French section or something.
Yeah, what was their goal? I mean, like I could see Americans like using that library lawn to go get fucking French fries and gravy or something.
What this is an example of the liberal media. They're trying to fool conservatives into thinking that, our borders are under control. They sent all of them back. Really, all this was is they accidentally drove through the lawn of the library because they were fucking drunk. They got pulled over, and Vermont police, rather than apprehending these drunk drivers from Canada, that just said, go home and sleep it off, boys. That's really all that happened. They turned that into they deported them. It's like, no, they told them to go home. It was 3 fucking blocks away.
So this is literally a case of a cop saying, I just don't want to do the paperwork.
Right, exactly.
That's scary, man.
It's some Irish cop up there saying, it's just kids having fun. They're all right. It's no problem. Just run home and sleep it off then, laddie. I don't know if that was Irish or not, but,
But of course, we're missing the true story of the illegal immigrant Mexican who comes up to do the lawn that morning, going, "What the fuck?"
Right.
Who did donuts in my lawn?
We're Canadian, French, and Romanian, so that's an interesting mixture.
It is.
Is that one from each, or they were all a little bit of the other?
I don't know if they were one from each. I'm wondering if like the Romanian and the other one, the non-native Canadian, if they got in trouble for jumping basically 2 borders.
Yeah, I was going to say, because were they even in Canada legally?
Why are we using books as a border?
Because there used to be a bookstore called Borders.
There you go. Somebody just got confused. It was the original. This was the original Borders books. That's why they named it that.
They were going to make it a Blockbuster, but they thought the name was in poor taste.
Right. Exactly. That's.
Or on the border Mexican restaurant.
There you go.
That's what it should be. Because it's right on the border. It should be an on the border. That is a missed opportunity for marketing.
That's true. That's true. Here's some good marketing. A guard, but what the hell is with these damn things? These pop-up ads are driving me insane. A guard was fired and arrested after trying to smuggle prescription stimulant pills into South Carolina women's prison by hiding them in Rice Krispies treats, authorities said. Marcy Schaefer, 43, looked took the treats out of their original packages, pushed the pills inside. She didn't even bake them in there.
Oh.
That's cheating. She pushed them inside and put them in a plastic bag, according to the arrest warrants. Schaefer was caught as she tried to take the treats into Camille Graham Correctional Institution on Thursday. Somebody look up Camille Graham, because I have to know how you get, what kind of piece of shit you have to be to get a prison named after you.
How do you spell it?
Hang on.
What's that?
How do you spell it?
I'm looking.
Camille, it's C-A-M-I, Camille, I-L-L-E, last name Graham, as in the cracker. Graham smuggling in drugs. Schaefer hid 4 amphetamine and dextroamphetamine pills in the treats and had 2 more in a prescription bottle, which was not labeled for the drugs. So
Camille Graham was a doctor.
That's what it looks like.
No, okay.
What piece of shit are you that saved a bunch of lives? Come on.
How can we honor a doctor who is so devoted to saving lives? Prison!
That's a female penal institution.
You know what? I feel it for her. I do, because I'm about to be honored in the city of Philadelphia for all my hard work and charity and dedications. They're going to name a porta potty after me. I'm so awesome with that.
Well, that's fitting, though. That one makes sense to me. If somebody named a porta potty after me, I would much rather have that than a prison.
Look, all I know is if anybody actually named
a
a porta
potty is somewhere you can go and be free.
If anybody names a porta potty after me, my only condition is I get to be the one to drop the first load.
That's only, you should be part of the ribbon cutting.
It'll definitely
just be that first roll of toilet paper.
Something.
That'll definitely be a ribbon cutting ceremony right there. Everybody walk back 3 steps. Let it air out.
An exit off of Interstate 95 in Florida had to be closed for 3 hours after 100 homing pigeons fell off a truck and refused to move. Is there talking in the background of the news? What's going on?
That is severely and seriously Philadelphia pigeons right there.
Exactly. A crate carrying 100 homing because they didn't want to go back. They were homing pigeons. It's like, we're from Philly. Fuck it. We ain't going.
No, you have to understand, man. If you've never been to this city, but you've dealt with pigeons or magpies, as it would be in Colorado, as a state bird for them, if you get too close to a pigeon in any other city or state, they'll fly away. They'll go away if you come within like eyesight of them.
Oh yeah.
Philly birds will walk out of your way and give you a dirty look. Like what? Do something. I'm not joking. They do not fly away from anybody. They walk and give you a dirty look.
Right, and these ones escaped, so they didn't want to come back.
Exactly. But at the same time, they didn't want to get out of the way. They was like, fuck, go around me.
Yeah, that's the lost homing pigeons. Only in Florida.
It's only
did we finally find Colin?
Yeah, he's here.
All right.
He came in with the homing pigeons.
Somebody had to.
Stones like the feathers, the one you're talking about.
Somebody whined his battery.
It's the good feathers.
Oh, the good feathers. Do I amuse you? Am I a clown?
We got to find a better way to do this. That's the thing. I lose half the news buffet just trying to find the next story. A man in Maine, a Maine man. See, that should be instead of Florida man. This is a missed opportunity right here where they could just say a Maine man. A Maine man tried to post $200 bail with counterfeit bills, according to the sheriff's office. This should be in Florida. Deputies responded to a report of a stolen vehicle in Waterboro early Sunday morning, stopped a man walking nearby, the York County Sheriff's Office wrote on a Facebook post. They determined that he was not involved, but arrested him on outstanding warrant for a theft from a Walmart.
Awesome.
The man said he had enough money to post $200 in bail, but when the bail commissioner arrived, he tried to pay with 2 counterfeit $100 bills. He was denied bail and was returned to jail with the additional charge of forgery. This guy's having a bad day.
Are we sure
Yes,
he's
he
not
is.
from Florida?
Right, exactly. He's the opposite of a snowbird.
Yeah.
He's going back to Maine to start he goes to Maine to start his life of crime so that he can live off of that in Florida. It's kind of like Bad Santa.
I'm thinking this guy had aspirations of making it to Derry, Maine, and becoming like the real life Pennywise or something. Because why would you do all this bad shit heading to Maine? Other than I just want to kill children and eat them.
That makes sense to me. I mean, I wouldn't eat them, but I don't
They
like
all
kids.
float down here.
Pretty gutsy.
You all like just completely lost
Try to
me.
use
That's for
counterfeit
sure.
money to bail somebody out.
Like, I'm all for sticking it to the man, but really, you're going to pass fake bills to the people that are going to check? If you're going to pay $200 bonds and fake bills, I tell this to people all the time. Every bill, and this is reality, every bill that gets checked in any convenience store, any bank, any otherwise, is always a denomination of $10 or more. If you want to pass around fake bills and not pay for shit, walk around with ones. They never check ones. So just print a shit ton of ones.
There you go.
Nobody checks ones. Just do ones. How am I the only one that ever figured this out?
I don't think you are. There's probably half the ones out in existence in the world today are probably fake. They just did a good enough job, and nobody's ever checked them.
Because nobody gives a fuck. The $1 bill's about as worth a penny was
Who's gonna
10 years
counterfeit
ago.
a $1 bill. No,
Right.
it's
It'd be
not
like
worth it.
counterfeiting a quarter.
Yeah, it's like counterfeiting pennies. Nobody's going to do that.
Look,
I mean, it's not worth the amount for the time and the effort.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. As a business owner yourself here, Colin, you would agree with me on this. When you get a dollar bill from a customer, you don't take a close look at it to see if it's real or counterfeit. The only thought that crosses your mind is, has this dollar bill been in a stripper's fucking G-string? That's the only thought that comes to your mind when you grab a $1 bill.
Yep, and if that $1 bill is more, less than 20 years old, it's probably never even seen a stripper. That whole dollar thing's a myth. Unless you go on a Tuesday morning, and nobody wants the Tuesday morning strippers. That's
Hey, look, they got to work their way through college too.
All right, Don.
no, they're working their
Let's
way to
see
the
it.
old folks home.
No one likes it when the stripper's crying.
Right? Yeah. There's no crying and stripping.
That's not true. That's not true. The Bloodhound Gang have proven it. The lap dance is always better when the stripper's crying.
I'll take your word for it. A half-clothed California man was arrested Wednesday after he climbed atop a church bell tower and set fire to a cross and proceeded to jump rooftops and repel buildings as authorities gave chase. The man, who was not immediately identified, appeared shirtless and missing a sock while at the top of the 4-story St. Mary's Catholic Church in the Boyle Heights neighborhood of Los Angeles. A helicopter crew with Fox 11 Los Angeles captured video of a man moving across the roof of the church as the cross was ablaze. He can be seen climbing down the church exterior, jumping from rooftop to rooftop several times. He also used wires dangling above the neighborhood to climb up or repel buildings. Holy
That's a
hell.
ninja, man.
Did Spider-Man
That's a
forget his
ninja.
costume?
I think so, but why is Spider-Man burning a damn cross on top of a church?
Antichrist.
Is this some kind of protest?
To me, it just screams the fact that we know it's not Miles Morales. Hey, cutie.
She can't hear you, but there she is.
Hi, cutie.
Keep going.
She's sitting up already, huh?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
While
you.
we take this moment to look at this baby that nobody else can see while we're on video.
That's
Exactly.
I just want everybody.
This is good show right here.
Yes, I just want everybody to take into consideration for just a moment. Think about it. There are now 439 billionaires on the face of the planet. Not one of these motherfuckers is Batman.
Yep, that is true. That is true.
But I just want to take a moment after having the baby on the screen. I just want to congratulate Chris Rudder on his new addition. They do look alike. They have the same hairline.
Yeah, we have similar hairstyles. Serenity and I have never seen each other face to face, but this is a long distance.
And they're both sucking down bottles. So
Yeah,
Immaculate conception, that's for
he's
sure.
definitely from the same gene pool, that's for sure.
hey, it ain't no lie. I used to joke back in the day, if I have a dirty thought, somebody winds up pregnant. Be careful with that shit.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. I'm on a date.
Oh, Colin, if you were
All
on a
right,
date,
what else?
if you were on a date, you know we'd make you put her on, or him. I'm not judging how you swing. We're still waiting for your little Johnson to show up. Oh,
Man.
since we haven't
I got possession of it.
you do? Are we doing it? Are we sending the
I know,
little
but
Johnson through the
I have
United States?
possession. I'm going to
Nice.
be sending it to you, Stolle.
Nice. I'll totally send you the address. We're gonna make this happen.
Hell yeah.
Why do you need
All
two
right.
little Johnsons, Chris?
Because I'm gonna autograph it and send it along, unless it's bigger than mine, in which case I'll send mine along.
Somehow, see, I am so out of practice. I have completely lost control of the news buffet, and now everybody's just trying to show their fucking Johnson. What's going on here? All right, let's
We're making up for the fact.
Let's
I
get
was
back to
showing you
serious
why I'm
business.
being so quiet.
Let's get
It's a
back
new
to serious business here. The Blue
It's a new
Zoo
version of
Aquarium. The Blue Zoo Aquarium inside the Mall of Louisiana was closed Tuesday after a python used in shows to entertain children escaped from its enclosure, according to reports. The St. George Fire Department was sent in around 10:20 a.m. Tuesday to find Para, who is about 12 feet long. Officials said the mall was closed at the outset, but only the Blue Zoo was locked down as of around noon Tuesday. So there's a loose python in the mall that likes to entertain children.
Can I?
A loose python never entertains children.
You know what? I'm going a complete different route with this. I'm actually very jealous. I want a fucking aquarium in my goddamn mall. The only thing we have is
Exactly.
loud, obnoxious teenagers. That's not an exhibit.
I want just like 12-foot pythons randomly moseying through the mall, not in an aquarium.
Go to India.
Nipping at
You know,
heels like fucking Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, in India it's kind of normal, but you got like everything else there trying to kill your ass. I don't want all that shit, just the pythons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe Florida.
You know.
it's unrelated. But speaking of Indians and Indonesians and snakes, has anybody? You guys remember that video of that like snake handler where that cobra was kind of like man upping on him, and he fucking just slapped the shit out of the cobra. Like
Yeah.
he gave it like a dog whack across the nose. That is a man with the biggest balls on the fucking planet.
Actually,
you-
they proved later that the King Cobra was defanged, so he
Oh.
wasn't that much of a badass. Yeah.
Uh,
Which is pretty
yeah,
common.
you've
with that
never
deal.
smacked the cobra before.
I've choked a chicken, but I've never smacked a cobra.
A 4-foot monitor lizard with its head stuck in a toilet was rescued from a home in India after the reptile spent 5 days hiding out in the bathroom. A snake helpline team responded to the home in Kapilswar Vihar area of
There.
I'm not even saying it. After a family reported a 4-foot Bengal monitor lizard had been hiding in their bathroom for about 5 days. The family said they first spotted the lizard near the toilet Sunday. They opened a window in hopes it would climb out, but the lizard was apparently unable to climb the tiled wall and reach the opening. I love that. They found it. They spotted the lizard near the toilet Sunday and said, fuck it, close the door, open a window, we're moving.
Nobody pooped ever again.
Yep, they dug a hole out back because they'd rather attract the tigers than go shit with the monitor lizard.
Oh, my God. I can't blame them, though. I probably wouldn't want to sit on that toilet anymore either.
Yeah, that would freak you out right there if you're just taking a shit and the monitor lizard just wanders on in. That's worse than a loose python in the mall.
Yeah.
But at one time, apparently, it found its only route of escape, and that's how it ended up with its head stuck in the toilet.
Like it wasn't stuck with its head in the toilet all 5 days, right? Because you would imagine the damn thing would drown.
Right, because it was just they didn't know what happened. They closed it in the room.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they just spotted it near the toilet and said, "Fuck." Which is an appropriate response.
It absolutely is.
Monitor lizard.
Oh, it absolutely is. Like, I get freaked out when, like, a breeze comes through the bathroom and the toilet paper roll fucking tickles my leg.
As you should.
As you should. I'm in a very vulnerable state right now.
Natural response.
I'm in a very vulnerable state right now. Don't touch me.
This year, we're all just lucky to have toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they were trying to use the lizard to cut back on toilet paper, and it just...
The COVID shortages are hitting everybody nowadays.
Right.
The scales act as two-ply.
I've been wiping my ass with a 4-foot monitor lizard. I saved on toilet paper, but now I have fucking salmonella.
Oh, it works perfectly. The scales help scoop it out, and then you just rinse.
Right. Well, the problem is if you run the scales against the grain, it's gonna eat the shit out of you. It's just gonna just tear you up.
Hey, there's a market out there for that. I'm sure there's an OnlyFans that caters just to that. Severe monitor damage. You don't want to, when it comes to the news buffet, that's the last thing you want to hear about is severe monitor damage. Guys, thanks for having me on the news buffet again. We'll probably do this again eventually.
Eventually.
Eventually we'll get back to the news buffet. I don't know.
Well, that's it. We're done with it now.
Well, let me ask.
No more petting pythons.
Oh no!
Monty Python.
As soon as we turn off the camera, I'd say about 4 of us on here are going to go pet our pythons. I can't say words today.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I do something that's constructive, like host an audio podcast with not being able to talk. You know how I get away with hosting an audio podcast without being able to talk? I go to people like Chris Rudder and say, "Hey, what's your effing deal?"
So this week there's a couple cool things on Netflix and Hulu for everybody to watch. One is actually, I think, a critically acclaimed show. As soon as it came out and they announced that there wouldn't be any new seasons, there was a huge uproar online. Everybody loves the show. It has 2 seasons that have been out, and they've already announced re-signing the third. This is kind of similar to what happened with The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon. As soon as they said they were going to cancel it, the fans had a big uproar about it, and they went ahead and re-signed and re-inked the deal. But Manifest is a really, really good show for everybody to watch. The scripting is very, very quick, and the way they do their dialogue is very snappy. Everything really ties together really well. It's almost like the Coen brothers did the scripting or the dialogue of the movie, while in the background you had somebody like what the fuck's his face from Batman actually doing all of the video of the movie. Christopher Nolan. It's almost a combination of the two. You have incredible videography going on there. You have incredibly good scripting and acting. And as soon as they finished with the second season and they were like, well, we're going to take it off the air, there were so many people who were actually watching it that it was immediately signed. I think it was within 72 hours of announcing that they were going to cancel it. It was already issued as another season is coming out. And there's another series of episodes coming out. So that's a definite recommend from What Your Effing Binge on this weekend's What Your Effing Deal. But the other show that I recommend everybody watch, if nothing else, just for comedic value, is this is my second pass through of the series on Hulu called Bigfoot.
All right.
These poor, unfortunate bastards who are so fucking firmly entrenched in the belief that they have seen Bigfoot. They've been chased by Bigfoot. They've been pursued by Bigfoot. They believe it so much, like it's fucked up. Like there's this cop in Northern California who quit his fucking job because he really believes he saw Batman or Bigfoot. I say that because
you got Batman on the brain today.
Well, that's because he was burning crosses on top of churches. Batman
exactly.
was.
Yeah. Earlier, the whole talk about that made me think of Batman swinging from rooftop to rooftop. But anyways, with Bigfoot, the universal hide and seek champion of all time, these people, it's 3 episodes, and it's really weird. Like the whole show itself seems like it was produced and put together by a complete schizophrenic and lunatic, where it goes from like this real information on Bigfoot and Bigfoot sightings and blah blah blah, to where it goes into the fact that they're in Northern California and that's where all the pot farms used to be. It becomes this whole basically like an uncovering of how the weed trade happened in California in the 80s. It's so strange and so bizarre and so off the beaten track, and the fact that they put so much production money into creating this show that goes completely off the rails within 15 minutes of the second episode is kind of fucking hilarious to me, that they were able to have this much money thrown at it and then just watch everybody just fall to shit during the whole course of the series. It's pretty hilarious. It's worth a watch if you want to see something that's just atrocious and you want to laugh at it, like Mystery Science Theater or whatever.
Is this a documentary that has the undercover journalist?
Yeah, he's such a piece of shit that during this, he actually interviews a guy who wants to have like the blacked out digitized face and his voice changed because Bigfoot might see it. And I'm like, bro, if Bigfoot is real, he is not watching DirecTV. He's not watching Hulu, bro. Like it's that
motherfucker's
really
got a
weird.
broken Roku.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are so weird, and the fact that they believe so heavily and everything, it's just and this undercover reporter wants to make himself out like he's this super cool hip beat writer from Rolling Stones or whatever, and it's really a laugh a minute if you don't take it seriously. If you take it seriously, then
what's the name of it again?
Bigfoot on Hulu.
Just Bigfoot. That's simple enough.
Just Bigfoot. Yeah.
Okay, so the guy is actually a really interesting character. I actually have met him. I met him about 15, 17 years ago or something. He was here in Colorado.
The writer himself?
Yeah, the journalist. I didn't know that he was like some undercover, weird, like skinhead type dude at the time, but... I figured
out in Colorado you'd met Bigfoot, so...
She did. He just did the news buffet.
This guy's gimmick is he's really good at like infiltrating groups and getting information out of them that they wouldn't normally talk about. Like he infiltrated like a big skinhead group and a big drug ring and was involved in like underground heroin and all this other shit. Like really kind of deep undercover stuff that you almost have to kind of live it to get that deep undercover probably. He's one of those kind of guys, and he's gone through so many of these different, like, big topics that I can't say that he's lost credibility. It's not that he's lost credibility, but on this story, the fact that this is what he gets a production budget for, to be on video with supposedly credible or incredible guests. And this is the topic they choose, and the path they take with it is just, it's borderline sad but hysterical if you just watch it from a high level If you take the 50,000-foot view of it, it's funny as fuck. But if you're like really deeply entrenched in that Bigfoot shit, then it's going to be like, oh, this feeds to the madness, kind of a deal.
It's very interesting. They start talking about somebody who got killed, like a couple people who got killed in the Green Triangle.
It was 3 Mexicans in Northern California, up north of the Sacramento area, just south of Oregon. The huge.
It's where the Green Triangle is. Yeah.
Yep. And
actually,
he documents.
It's fun.
That part of the show actually is when it does become fun and interesting. The whole Bigfoot shit is just so, like, they're covering the old 1967 video that has empirically been proven that it was such a huge scam that the guy who rented the Bigfoot costume and the video equipment they took of that original Bigfoot film, he got arrested for bouncing the checks and had been involved on several scams leading up to that. He was a convicted con man like 5 or 6 times. And this is still the most go-to evidence of the Bigfoot community. It's just really, for people who take it seriously, I'm sure it's a good watch. For people who don't take it seriously, it's good brain candy for a weekend to just sit there and just kind of like blow off some steam and laugh at something. It's that kind of a show. And then whenever they do get into the old pot growing shit from the 80s and California and all that stuff, some of that's interesting, but it's just such a weird show, and it's put together in such a just such an obscure way that it just seems that the person who put it together is just as fucked up in the head as someone who truly believes they saw Bigfoot.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
It's a good watch. It really is, both for funny and for good reasons. It's worth it.
Well, I've got a couple for the news buffet that pissed me off like recently. Personally, I'll let Serenity ask her question beforehand. I just wanted to throw it in there that I got 2 to throw in.
No, I was going to ask Rudder about a show that I was watching called Why Women Kill, and it's coming back for a 2nd season, and I wanted to see if he actually watched it, because it's a freaking demented show. I mean, just twisted. The first season is like, oh my god, that's wrong on so many levels.
Because never trust anything that bleeds for 7 days and doesn't die.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
And if I offended any of our listeners out there, good, grow a fucking spine. Continue.
Well, obviously he hasn't watched it, so he has to now.
Stolle could be next on the hit list.
Yeah. But no.
But that's basically it for what you're up and deal for this weekend.
No, not yet. I got 2 to throw in there, and I want to get your opinion since you're a resident TV guy. On Netflix, I binged basically 2 series. One brand new and one that's been out for a while. The one that I binged that's brand new that really pissed me off was Resident Evil. What the hell is its title? Infinite Darkness. It's a brand new.
Yeah, the Infinite Darkness series. Yeah, it's a spinoff from the last graphic novel.
Well, what pissed me off about it is it's like 3 episodes. That's it. That's its season.
Right. Well, they did the same thing with the latest new Dracula movie. Do you remember that one that came out? It was just 4 episodes on Netflix. On Dracula. Yeah, so they kind of did that where they did a long story short movie, or I don't know exactly what the terminology is, but it's like a very long form of a single movie that's done in like 3 parts or whatever. But I don't know if that's like a new trend, because there's so many things that they leave out of these series. There's a few others that they've done like that.
Castlevania.
And taking anything, like Resident Evil has so much content and so much depth because of the previous movies and everything that goes into building that up to make it familiar to the people who've watched all of them. They leave a lot out, and there's probably a lot of. I don't think they left a lot of it on the floor. I think they shot it that way, and it just seems like these are testing grounds to see if they could do a long form version of it.
Well, you know what?
I think is what they're doing.
I'll tell you, like, what I watched, it was really good. It was enticing. The only thing I would bitch about is I'm sick of every graphic video of Resident Evil, like Regeneration, the movie Regeneration or otherwise. It seems like the only characters they ever want to use is Claire Redfield and Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 2.
That's how they tie in the original movie and the original game to whatever the new content is. If they don't reuse their names, what they found, I think it was with like the third or fourth Resident Evil movie, it did not do well at all.
Well, my problem is, it's like if you're gonna do it on Resident Evil, and especially like after the aftermath of Raccoon City, for people that are familiar with the Resident Evil lore, yeah, Leon Kennedy's a badass. I'm not saying he's not, but where the fuck is Chris Redfield? Where's Jill Valentine? Where's the originals? Bring me back the original characters from the original game and give me a story of them surviving after Raccoon City.
That might be as much of a part of the fact that if you look at that whole franchise as far as the movies go and as far as the games go, like they broke off from the original part of the franchise and started a new reboot and a new storyline with people. So maybe they're trying to like just completely forget that the old part happened and keep with whatever the new current content is. I don't know what that is, but I think that these are more experiments to see if this is something they can launch as a long form series, as opposed to that 2, 3, or 4-parter that they're doing. But they're doing it with a lot of different subjects now, so they're experimenting to see what people are responding to and liking. That's cool.
Well, I'll respond. I like what they've put down thus far, but 3 or 4 half-hour episodes is not enough for a season. You got to release more.
Yeah, and I think that's what the trial is to see how many people who like it and put it into their algorithm and all that shit. If enough people did, then Netflix is really launching into a huge studio budget area. I mean, they're almost on the heels of major fucking studios. You've got them. Apple spends more than Netflix does, but they're very close, and they're just, as far as like Hollywood money goes, they're just 100 or 200 million behind what like Fox and Paramount is actually doing on studio budgets. I mean, they're fucking putting out big time budgeted shit. And so, I think they're just experimenting with the crowd to see what everybody likes, to see what they can really do in a long format that builds subscribers.
Hey, I'm all for it, but I tell you what, if Netflix wants to impress me with that money and everything else, I've got a series for you to pick back up. You have it on Netflix. I watched it. It took me a minute to get into it. It's only 3 seasons long, and unfortunately it left on a cliffhanger and was canceled. Originally, I think it was on Sci-Fi and got canceled. Dark Matter.
Uh-huh.
You finally get to the good part of the black ship. Spoilers for people who haven't watched yet. And that's the end. And the series is canceled. Fuck you. Bring it back. I am so mad. It took me so long to get in and invested in the characters in the beginning, because I'm like, this show's kind of slow and boring, and I'm tired of the whole fucking Fast and Furious in space or criminal bad guys or the good guy protagonist type groups. But I got invested in these characters and the story arcs of each of the characters, and you just fucking cliffhang me on season 3 like, here comes the main baddies through this wormhole. End. The fuck, dude? Give me more.
Yeah, it's a well-written series, right? And the fact that they burned through so much stuff, there's definitely like, it could turn into like a huge production kind of thing. Like they could make like a major movie out of that, like a Netflix only kind of special movie or something, where they really throw some money in behind it. And I think that's what a lot of these short runs are all about. Because if you look at it 5 years from now, everybody who watched a series like that, then they come out with this big, huge fucking movie that you can only see on Netflix, and you have to pay, $11.95 extra or whatever because you're a new member. That's going to be like huge box office for them, and I think that there's a lot of strategy in these short run series that they're doing, especially the sci-fi related shit. I think there's a lot of experimentation going on to see what the audience is really going to be thirsty for. I think they're doing a lot of focus group shit out of that.
Well, I'm
agree.
I'm hashtagging it out there. Hashtag dark matter matters. Bring it fucking back.
There's a Twitter
You
group.
got my interest.
If you post it on Twitter, you'll get included into a group that follows that, and they continuously talk about shit, almost like Trekkies do. There's a big group on it.
So to get my sci-fi fix, I've now started the rabbit hole that is known as the 100.
Outstanding series, bro. It's you're gonna whatever. How far are you into it?
Episode 2.
Okay.
I started it after Resident Evil.
Yeah, what you're getting ready to see is there's 3 main characters, and one of them who's La Bamba. Somebody, what the fuck is his name?
Richie
He was in
Valens?
Young Gun.
Lou
the guy
Diamond
who played
Phillips.
him in. Okay, so his son is in that, and then there's 3 other actresses and 1 other actor that you're going to see if you're watching from the very beginning. That these people are about ready. They're coming into play and being in the big movies right now.
Right.
So this, what if you're watching it that far back? It's like what, 6 years old now, I think. But there's 3 actresses on there, and Lou Diamond Phillips, his son, and another kid that are they run through the whole show, and it ends up being really cool content, I guess. And just the storyline is not really deep. You can see what's coming, but it's a cool show to watch.
Nice. As long as I'm
Yeah,
entertained.
I thought it was fairly interesting. It gets, I think around like season 4, it kind of gets a little. I kept watching, but it kind of gets a little much at a certain point.
like they're really repeating, or they're going into like some really high lore shit, like almost quasi religious shit. Yeah. So it kind of gets a little bit
which
far
actually
off.
has nothing to do with the trilogy of books that it was made on.
Yeah, the books I hear are actually quite different. I've never read them.
Yes, they are. I just out of curiosity, when I first started, I think I watched the first season. I decided to get the books and read it. It's an interesting read.
It's been a minute since all of us have got together and talked. Does anybody else have like a series that they binged that we could talk about?
I don't have a series, but I do have one death that I was going to mention earlier, and another death that was just brought to my attention now. Of course, for wrestling fans, today we lost Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
71 years old. Did you see any pictures of him recently? He's had that bad nerve injury in his neck that made his arm wither away and everything. But for everybody who remembers the Brandon Bull, man, he was like one of the few big bodybuilder kind of wrestlers, and he wrestled through every territory and every promotion, and was great on the microphone. He could cut promos and shit. He was in a WrestleMania 1 and 2 also.
Yes, he was. And, of course, he was survived by his family, who said the only thing he was better at than being Mr. Wonderful was being a dad. He was a very devoted dad, a very loving and doting dad. And so, like, I want him to be remembered for more than just being a wrestler. But also, it was just brought to my attention now that Charlie Robinson, who is best known as playing Mac on the TV show Night Court, has passed away at 75 years old.
No way!
Isn't that crazy? And
is that the security guy?
That was the black, not bailiff. He was the one that called the K courses. He was like the secretary or whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't the stenographer or whatever, but all of those people are getting into that age group. So I mean, it's it's sad.
So yeah,
I do want to discuss one thing that I saw a preview for. Has anyone seen that preview for McCartney, the Paul McCartney Hulu show? I think.
Nope.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Coming off the heels of Bohemian Rhapsody, and then you have Rocket Man with the Elton John show and everything, and there's talks of them also doing like a Led Zeppelin and a Stones type show. But the fact that they're coming out with McCartney, and that of course involves a lot of Beatles shit. So let go of the controversy on everything that they do or do not show. That's going to be really...
No. We're going to be doing a controversy show because I swear that Paul McCartney died in a car crash.
Yeah,
he's not. It's Billy Shears who won a contest. It's not the real Paul McCartnney. I'm telling you.
The really that was 1964. The car crash happened or whatever, and then he got replaced. Is what the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story goes then, and this is right before like coming to New York and playing at the Met Stadium and New York Stadium and all that shit. So it's like they weren't big enough yet that if a person was changed out that looked alike, that nobody would tell the difference at that point. So there is a lot of credibility to that story. That's for goddamn sure.
Well,
There's a lot of
let's
facts.
do a show on it because I have some footage that shows a very different
I've got
side of Paul and proves everything that I think about him passing on and them replacing him.
Well,
Isn't there like a different freckle or mole placement on his face and the way his eyebrows look and everything, like his hairline changes and all this shit? I mean, there's like
the way he plays changes.
Yeah, there's a lot of physical evidence to this story. So yeah.
Well, look, all I know is the conspiracy that I have for the Beatles. Yeah. The conspiracy that I have for the Beatles is very simple. The Beatles are living proof that God hates us.
Oh God!
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm not picking on the music. I'm not picking on the band. I'm picking on the fact that George Harrison is dead. John Lennon is dead. Theoretically, and I use the term theoretically just so for people that think, no, it's not Billy Shears, it's actually Paul McCartney. Theoretically, Paul McCartney's dead. Billy Shears is a stand-in, but I'm pretty sure he's going to die next. You know why? Because God hates us all, and in the end, we're all going to just wind up with fucking Ringo Starr.
Oh, God.
Ringo Starr in the Skechers commercial. So one of the things that is...
Hey, we're all forgetting Ringo Starr's greatest contribution to the world, and that was the movie Caveman.
Oh, I thought you were going to say playing guest drums on Tom Petty's Won't Back Down.
Awesome movie.
You know,
awesome.
I seriously thought that he was going to say you're forgetting about Pete Best, who was the original drummer. So I mean, could be.
I don't care that much about the Beatles to know any of the other ones than the main four.
Look, if anybody,
you don't even know the main four. What are you talking about?
Hey, if anybody can collaborate my feeling that the Beatles are living proof that God hates us, it's Pete Best. Because he was the first one screwed over by fucking Ringo Starr.
He should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just for being the original member of the Beatles. I mean, come on.
I don't know about all that, but the fact that they were revolutionary and they were like, it was almost like whenever a pro wrestler gets a push to get pushed to the top, there was a huge push to make them mainstream and get them into America and all this other stuff. They were the first supergroup.
And they were also the world's first sellouts. Went from bubblegum pop to fucking acid rock.
And no matter how you look at that, either they matured or they fucking did enough dope that they fucking, they all changed.
I lean towards the second. I lean towards the second.
And if that's the case, they didn't actually sell out. They just got fucking burnt. You know what I'm saying? But
you wouldn't be saying all this stuff about Gene Simmons. That's all I'm going to say.
Are you fucking kidding me? I say it about Gene Simmons all the time.
Gene Simmons' main job was being able to sell out. That's why.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I wipe my ass with Kiss toilet paper.
He's like the king of selling out. That's right.
It's such a cliche. They have a movie bit about it. Which movie was that? Where This Is 40 or whatever, where Gene Simmons shows up at the end in the helicopter. Oh, You're Marrying Him.
I haven't seen that.
Oh my God! So Gene, it's such a joke. That's such like a relevant tagline that they show up at the end of the movie in a blizzard to sing "Happy Birthday" to this chick because they are such sellouts. It was Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. They rented them, brought them in on a helicopter and everything. So it's that much of a well-known joke that they're sellouts. That they'll show up at a birthday party in a helicopter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
That's
of,
the whole point of what I said.
The entire band of Kiss was not remotely talented as musicians. Their songs were all shit. If they didn't know how to sell out, they'd have never sold anything.
Yeah,
well, they were showmen.
They were showmen.
Right, they were showmen.
Okay,
absolutely.
I think the Beatles more just evolved beautifully with the people that were their fans. Like their fans were in the 60s, their fans were that kind of hippie, weird shit anyway. So, they just kept with their crew, changed with
they changed with their times over time a little bit, and then I think they got introduced into drugs and became much better.
I do have a question. Yeah. I do have a question of whether it's in poor taste or sell out or not. Nikki Sixx is now getting ready to release a brand of switchblades.
Yeah,
why not?
Man, fuck it. Yeah, get the money,
yes,
bro.
I'm
Get the
buying
money.
one.
Well, considering the story of Nikki Sixx and what he did to his mother with a knife and everything else, which you could see on the movie The Dirt, and of course if you read the book The Dirt, which is less fantasized. Is it a good idea for somebody who cut his own arm to get his mother fucking thrown in jail? A good idea for him to be releasing a brand of switchblades?
Why the hell not? Do what you're known for.
If it's
That's
5 years,
interesting. I didn't know that. Wow.
yeah. If in 5 years he has an extra $1 million in his bank account, it was worth it. Fuck.
Exactly.
Okay, my big question
If
do you sell switchblades at a show? Like, where are they going to sell these? Because you don't want to have that at your merch booth. They charge $5 extra for a shirt than everyone else.
I'm sure he's just going to do it online, through NikkiSixx.com or some shit. I don't have the full-on details. When I heard it on the radio the other day, I said, "You've got to be fucking kidding me."
Yeah, market what you're known for. Like if you're O.J. Simpson getting out of jail, try to get a fucking endorsement from Isotoner gloves or fucking Ginsu knives or one of some shit like that. If you're
or the new Ford Bronco.
If you're Bill Cosby and you want to recoup some of the money you lost over all this shit,
Z-Quill.
Judge Miss America pageant.
I would say
Z-Quill.
I would say if you're Bill Cosby, promote NyQuil or
Did you
promote
see where
sleeping pills or just come up with your own brand of alcohol.
Did you see where
his own brand of roofie?
Yeah, exactly. I'll stop drinking Stolle vodka. I'm gonna drink. Can I get some Cosby vodka? I feel like just being totally out tonight.
That's right, because Stolle vodka will keep you up all night, but Cosby vodka will knock you out.
Not Stolle, Stolle.
Same difference.
Oh my God.
There's a big difference. I'd never drink a Stolle vodka.
Ow!
Glad I don't drink. No Cosby vodka for me.
Bill Cosby wanted to start a new comedy tour, and even the Comedy Cellar refused signing him on. Did you see that? That's actual news.
You know what? We can go into this route. I wasn't going to talk about Cosby. We can go into this. How fucked up is it that this guy got released, convicted for what he's done, but released on a technicality?
But it was only it was 18 months early. It's not like he wasn't just about to be released next year anyway.
Yeah. Well.
So I mean that's fact. He was going to be released in the next 18 months, regardless if he did his whole sentence.
It doesn't matter.
So
it doesn't matter.
Let's talk about who's not getting released. Britney Spears.
Well, not just Britney. If I went to jail for an allegation of rape, you think a technicality would free my ass? No, it's because he's Bill fucking Cosby.
The technicality actually makes sense. I have to admit that according to our laws, it makes sense. It's just he has a very high up attorney that pushed and pushed and pushed until he found the perfect loophole, which it worked. But Britney Spears didn't find any loophole and doesn't have any control over her own goddamn life. She's the one who needs freedom. You know what? With that one, the thing that disturbs me the most, because I know child stars, not personally, but I know child stars growing up that have had that. That's what fucked up Macaulay Culkin. That's what fucked up Jake Lloyd from Star Wars. And Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. All of them were victims of that. But I mean, to the point that her dad is controlling her fucking sexual reproduction, forces her to have a UTI or UDI inserted so she can't ever get pregnant until dad says it's okay. That's just a straight up level of fucking wrong that I can't even begin to comprehend.
Agreed. I don't know if it's a weird take on it or not, how everybody else is thinking about it, but isn't the real complaint with the California law system the fact they haven't overturned this, or lawyers have gone to them, they've tried to repeal, they've tried to break contract, all this stuff, and they're not doing it. So Brittany's a horrible case, but maybe we should look at how California is actually ran.
Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly, but I think it's a shared blame. I think you're right that it is the California law system that allows assholes and scumbags like Brittany's father to get this type of control over their children or their proteges or whatever. Because it's not just family that does it. There's and I know Serenity can attest to this. There's been many like musicians, for example, that their whole entire careers were controlled and destroyed by management who had all control over everything they did. Perfect example is
it almost happened to Elvis.
It did happen to Elvis. That was the example I was going to give.
He had to reinvent himself, and
the Colonel fucked him up.
The band America, they got fucked out of everything pretty much.
Yeah, so I mean, like most commonly with child stars, it's the parents, but it could just as easily happen with your representation as an artist and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, my heart goes to Britney. I'm not a fan of her music. I can't stand her music. I've always said I would never recognize her without the word mute across her stomach because I would never listen to her music. But what's happening to her is not fucking right at all in any way, shape, or form.
Yep. What bothers me is they have the option to give her just a little bit of control of her life. But what would they have on her that wouldn't even let her decide when to travel?
From what I understand, the whole entire thing is in standing from when she had that little crazy phase and shaved her head.
Yeah, when she got committed. That's where it all stems from.
That was a decade ago.
I know, and
yeah, but
right.
She's never got psychological clearance, so that's why her dad is able to stand on this.
Yeah, but who is anybody to tell a woman she can't get married and have a child?
She signed all of this shit away, bro. It's so fucked up.
I don't care. That's a human right. That is a human right. Yeah. No court can stop a human right.
That's what I'm saying. Shouldn't we be looking at the more fundamental aspect of it? Maybe Brittany is the sacrificial lamb to look at this shit. But shouldn't we be looking at the California code on things? Like, where does this come from? How many other states have this kind of language in their Bill of Rights, and how this can be written up by some, random fucking lawyer to where it stands up over, it's gone to their version of Supreme Court or appeals court, twice now. And it still keeps getting upheld. So, like, that's the fucked up part about it. Maybe Brittany is, she's had a good fucking run. Let's go ahead and just fucking toss her into the fire. She's effigy.
Well, they kind of already did.
Else from doing it. Yeah.
They kind of already did. They're forcing her to do fucking, performances in like a shitty ass bar in fucking Vegas.
Well, you know how you stop that is if everybody who says they care about her doesn't buy a ticket.
Well, I know that, but people will do what people do.
You do that a couple times, and then maybe something could change. If not, then it is what it is. But this code, this way it was written, and the way that they're able to hold up an appeals court and everything, there's a serious fundamental flaw in that we're able to uphold some form of slavery over somebody just because they signed off on whatever paperwork. That's why it keeps.
Well, yeah, when they had a breakdown, when they had an emotional crisis, and they signed some shit over because they can't deal with it. How do that shouldn't fucking be permanent.
Well, wouldn't that be the defense case here? Like, even if she's not mentally cleared and stuff like that, the fact that she's forced to work against her will,
right?
Isn't that grounds for slavery, which was abolished in this country?
The problem is she's obliging her contract. That's where the whole issue is. All of this is contractual.
Yeah, well, people that owned slaves back in the days before Jim Crow had
was all contractual.
That was all contractual
too. They had a bill of sale and everything.
Wrong is still wrong.
The Civil War over Britney Spears.
Right.
I'd rather fight a civil war over Britney Spears than what we're actually going to wind up in a civil war over today. To be fair.
Yeah.
Britney Spears makes more sense.
Speaking of which, since we're covering this and we're almost going into After Hours category on this,
we're already in After Hours. Let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Since we're talking about Bill Cosby, has anybody heard the fact that the way Bill Cosby was able to get himself out of trouble based on statute and all this other stuff? that possibly Chauvin could get his time cut?
Chauvin.
The cop who killed fucking what's-his-face.
Oh, Chauvin.
Chauvin.
Oh, okay.
When you said Sheldon, I'm thinking Big Bang Theory. What did he do?
I was thinking, when did the Big Bang Theory go to prison? And thank God.
No, I was saying Chauvin. I guess it didn't come out right. But, yeah, there's actual talk that the same thing could happen to him based on the way that the civil suits are going to come out.
Good, I hope so.
That he could.
Good, I hope so, because I honestly believe that Chauvin was railroaded. He was convicted by the court of public opinion. The evidence was there against George Floyd that at best you could hit him with an accidental death, involuntary manslaughter at absolute worst, and instead they threw him away for murder like it was a premeditated thing. No, that was a miscarriage of justice. I hope he gets out.
There's so much opinion and fact based on that came out after the trial was done, though. That's the problem. And because of Maxine Waters coming into where the jury pool was, doing all of her stuff because of what she did, that's the main thing that his attorneys are going after on appeals, that she tampered with the jury pool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was everything that happened to that man was an intimidation factor. You know, did George Floyd have to die? No. Was it a premeditated murder or a racist act by a bad cop? No. It was proven that he had enough fentanyl in his system that even laying down pretty much killed him. He did not comply with the police. That's why they were forced to use restraint on him. Was the knee placed the wrong way or whatever else? Sure. We looked at the video. We know that. But this man had his life destroyed because somebody else didn't know how to behave in public society. That's the plain and simple fact. I stand with Chauvin on that. Should he be removed from the force? Yes. Maybe should he have faced a fine or faced a couple years in prison for involuntary manslaughter? Sure. Was he guilty of murder and specifically a hate crime murder? No, not at all. The evidence just wasn't there.
I don't know. I think a video with him standing on his neck for 8 minutes is more than enough on that. But the fact that he's going to get out, since we're talking about, it's a travesty of justice with Brittany, same thing with Bill Cosby, him being able to get out in 4 years on 72 rapes. Even if half of the people are lying, that's still 36 motherfucking rapes, y'all.
I know.
But if
who does he think he is? Bill Clinton?
Yeah, if this Chauvin thing gets kind of cut loose like that, man, that's going to be major fucking problem. Major problem.
Well, you know what? The one thing I've learned from the O.J. Simpson case is if these people are really shitty people, if the representatives of Britney Spears are really that shitty of people, if Chauvin is really that much of a racist and a shitty person, if Bill Cosby is that much of a fucking shitty person, they may have gotten off on the things they were charged on to begin with, like O.J. being with the Nicole, I forget her name.
Simpson?
Right.
Yeah, Nicole Simpson. Nicole Simpson.
O.J. Simpson, Nicole Simpson. What? Are you serious? Oh my God.
I was about no. I said I forgot her first. I forgot her first name because I was about to say Jessica Simpson. I'm like, no, that's not right.
Oh my God.
But no, what I'm meaning is like, he got off scot-free on murder that everybody knows he fucking did. But he still went to jail for murder anyway. The one thing about fuck-ups is they're always going to continue to fuck up.
So you're saying release Chauvin, put him back on the force, see if he does it again.
No, not put him back. Not put him back on the force.
Give him another neck to stand on. For fucking 8.5 minutes, and we'll see if he does it again. He's a bad guy.
No, I'm not saying put him. I'm not saying put him back.
Man.
I'm not saying put him back on the force. I'm saying if he truly is a racist that's looking to kill black people, if you let him out of prison, he's gonna go do it again, and you kind of prove your point. But if he doesn't, maybe he was unjustly fucking railroaded.
So everybody gets two, is what you're saying.
Well, it seems like in this day and age they do.
my
Give him
God.
another chance.
Look, I'm not saying Chauvin's a good guy. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that the evidence that they used against... I'm glad you people are fucking laughing. I'm being dead serious here. What I'm saying is that the evidence that was used to convict him was all circumstantial at best, and it was like Chris had stated, there was plenty of times where the BLM movement and movements and the Tifa movements and movements like that influenced the decision in that court hearing. That is what I'm saying. Am I saying that Chauvin isn't guilty of killing Floyd? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm saying it may not be a hate crime, first-degree murder that they pushed it into.
Well, he was not convicted of first-degree murder.
No, he was convicted of second-degree murder.
Second-degree manslaughter, yeah.
Yeah, it was manslaughter, not murder. And at what point do you kill somebody where you have to be excused?
Right. I'm sure he didn't plan it in advance.
And again,
no matter what, it's an accident.
Yeah,
unless it's just a pure hate crime. And maybe that's where we're splitting the hair at.
Yeah, maybe he only slightly disliked him.
Well, here's the other issue. Here's the other issue is that throughout this whole entire narrative that's been going on, the one thing that's always been pushed is like George Floyd is some sort of saint who did nothing wrong. He was completely innocent of everything.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, you haven't heard that? Have you not turned on the news? They always pass that. That's one of the things that pisses me off about the whole thing.
That's a whole different conversation, and you can't allow that to charge your emotion to the actual facts of what happened.
It's not charging the emotion. It's not charging the emotion. In fact, I'm trying to point out the fact that those emotions interfered with having a fair trial. That's what I'm saying.
Which is what they're going to get him. That was my whole point. That's how they're going to get him released because of the way Maxine Waters and the BLM movement tampered and poisoned the jury pool because they did not move location. They had the opportunity.
They should have, yeah.
Right.
They had the opportunity to, and they didn't actually do it because it was blocked by the appellate judge. So this guy is going to get out, and it's going to cause all kinds of hell, no matter what the fuck you think about either one of them, because of the emotion that's charged into it all. Yeah, they're portraying fucking Floyd as a saint, and it's fucking wrong. He was strung out on fentanyl, and he was doing speed and all that other fucking shit. We all know this. Even though people ignore it, and they still want to treat him like a saint because he was killed by a cop.
Well, are they treating him as a saint or as a martyr? Because you don't have to be a saint to be a martyr.
Either way, they're celebrating the life of somebody who once held a gun to a pregnant woman's belly.
Yes, and these are all facts, and so they are. It is a martyr situation. I think you're right, Don, on that. But the fact is, you cannot make. What is this saying? You can't correct two wrongs, or you can't correct a wrong with another one, or whatever the fuck. You can't do that in this situation without their fucking. I swear.
She's enjoying herself.
I'm sorry. If you could have just seen that, everyone.
I saw it. Yeah.
I guess we'll have to start doing video again. Damn it.
Right.
But you can't. The problem is that for the like the biggest problem, whether you're a Biden guy or a Trump guy or whoever the fuck guy, the biggest thing that's going on with the country is there's no unity. There's all this separation of everything, and this is going to be one of those fractional things.
Well, that's the point.
If they do let it happen, that it's going to fraction so many things so much deeper and farther that. I mean, you might think you're ready for civil war, but you got kids, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Which is even more reason why I'm ready for civil war, because I'm going to protect those kids and the country those kids need to grow up in.
I mean, I understand that in principle, but whenever it comes down to it, I mean, war is a horrible thing. And I mean, like, there's people who are ready to get down with this shit, and it sounds cool until you're actually in the middle of it.
Come on, really?
And fucking Serenity's out of her mind, yeah.
Come on, really?
I am not. I'm a corn cob.
Hey, shut your cornhole.
Pretty corny. Pretty corny.
Pikachu.
But how about that new Delta variant strain, which is code for you aren't scared enough anymore?
That's exactly it. The Delta strain is you guys stopped caring about the bullshit we were feeding you. There is no Delta strain.
Whatever-
I still
Hey,
stand.
as somebody that used to frequently fly Delta Airlines, I am terrified of the Delta strain.
Yes, I am. I won't fly Delta whenever I go to Arizona later. But the crazy thing is, did you see whenever, I think he was on CBS Morning News or whatever the fuck, he said that if you disagree with Fauci, you disagree with science. He's not only talking about himself as the third person.
He
He's
is
talking
science
about him-
now.
He is science.
I have
you seen
become
this?
science!
It's a toss-up between him and Bill Nye.
All I can think of is Almost Famous. He's on the roof, and he's like, I am a golden god.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a lizard king.
All right,
He is science!
Okay, you guys are all talking that. The
I
first
love
thing I
Bill
think
Nye.
of, the first thing I think of with somebody standing on the roof is holding a shotgun, flinging the dishes out to the lawn, shooting the dishes, and going, "Dishes are done, dude.
Dishes are done, man."
Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead."
Another awesome,
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good
another
one.
awesome movie.
That was the first thing that popped in my head.
Did Bill Murray have
Understandable.
that Hunter S. Thompson? Did Bill Murray have that Hunter S. Thompson scene in White Buffalo, where he shot everything on his front yard too?
He might have. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
I was thinking it was in that movie they showed Hunter S. doing that shit, going off with the shotgun, because he would do it randomly all the
Wait,
fucking time.
everybody, look, Serenity. No, go back to the last one. Go back to the last
Yeah,
one.
fucking sheep.
Look.
Fucking sheep.
Look, she got her COVID shot.
Right?
Oh my God!
That's freaky. Seriously? What?
Yeah.
What the heck, man? That's wrong on so many levels. Whoa.
Now I'm wishing I was recording. Cloning gone wrong.
Fucking rudder looks like a fucking I can't even think of what the hell they are. The Lord of the Rings. He looks like a fucking hobbit.
Oh, like a golem.
Yeah.
Now he looks like Popeye with a thinning hairline.
Oh my God. I love those
The
filters.
hobbit right there. Holy shit.
He's not Team Edward.
All right, we have completely lost this show.
We have.
Stolle, take us home.
All right. Well, due to the fact that Colin was having technical issues, we're probably going to skip the inspirational time this week. Guys, I'm sorry about that. If you need your inspiration, make sure you call 1-800-COLIN-WASHBURN. It's kind of like a suicide hotline. What the fuck are you doing, Chris?
He's a tennis ball now. He's a high motherfucking tennis ball.
He's a very high. That's a high lob right there. So with that thought, guys, starting with Don, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me creeping all over the place. I got movies on Amazon Prime. I got movies on Tubi TV. The Life Radio show is probably going to be making a comeback shortly. I haven't made any official announcements yet, but I'm leaning toward a return. I have 3 movies I'm going to start working on. I get to play the role of Lucifer in Bulletproof Jesus, which we're about to start filming, and that's going to be super fucking fantastic.
Please tell me you're wearing the costume for it right now.
Exactly. No, that's for the remake of Weekend at Bernie's. I'm also going to be playing I'm going to be in a Western coming up, and I'm also going to I'm going to be part of a horror movie coming up. So I've got, in the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to be filming 3 different feature-length films, and I cannot wait to be exhausted again.
Nice. And guys, keep an eye out for that Life Radio return right here on Breaking the Fourth Wall Entertainment. Hint, hint. Serenity.
You could find me hiding underneath a rock right now.
You know, the only reason she started doing the shit she was doing is because we weren't recording the video.
Yeah. Well, next time record a video, we just won't tell her.
Right? That's it.
And last but certainly not least, Mr. Rudder doing his best impression of Bigfoot.
Whoa.
Hide and go seek. Yeah, hide and go seek champion of the universe.
Next to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, catch us on iTunes and everywhere else you find good podcasts and Spotify.
And, of course, guys, if you enjoyed this podcast in any capacity, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the other podcasts that we haven't done in a very long time on Breaking the Fourth Wall Entertainment. And, of course, if you prefer them in audio-only format, just check us out on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you had a happy and safe holiday weekend last weekend, I believe it was. Not the one that just passed, but the previous one. And, of course, we will get back on track now that we have scheduling figured out. And we will catch you next week on the next Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly. Have a good night.